All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Hawashai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth to rule well. I wanted to go into, something quick that just came into my spirit. Lusting after somebody, all right, goes back to fornication. Okay? So, or adultery, I should say. So this is Matthew 5:28. It says, "But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already." All right, so in order to understand adultery, all right, because there's so many misconceptions out there, man. Christianity is, jumbled everything up to the point where even if you bring out the scriptures perfectly to a Christian, okay, they're not going to get it, And you can see the struggle sometimes in Jake. All right, you can see how they try to understand, all right, but they have that spiritual block, They have a spiritual block to where they can't perceive this truth. You see? So it says, let me read that again. Matthew 5:28. "But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart." So that people think that you can, see a woman on the street and, she's single, she's single, all right? And she hasn't dealt with a man or, anything of that nature, or she's not dealing with a man, and you look after her and you lust after her, people think that's adultery, or fornication, which is something similar but different, okay? So that's not what that means, because the answer is right in the word woman, all right? And the other apostles and the elders always go into that. So when you go to the word woman, in the Greek, gaine, I believe, or guna, all right, guna, which is woman, it says a woman of any age, whether a virgin or married or a widow. But right here, number 2 is the point, a wife, okay, of a betrothed woman. So somebody that belongs to somebody else, okay, a woman that belongs to another man, all right, that's what is considered adultery. When you lust after a woman that's already married, it's simple. It's not too difficult, right? It's not rocket science, all right? When a man lusts after a woman that is already taken, that's adultery, all right? So when you go into the word adultery, has committed adultery in his heart. To commit adultery, all right, to commit adultery, to be an adulterer, and B, to commit adultery with, have an unlawful intercourse with another's wife. You see, that's what adultery is. It's simple, you don't have to go into too many precepts and, go here and there to prove what adultery is, man. Just go to the root words, and that's something that Christianity will never teach you. They'll never teach you to go into root words, So whenever they come up with, Lucifer or Satan himself, they don't go into the root words or the meaning of Satan, which means an adversary. They don't go into the root word of the word Lucifer, which is an enlightened one. But that's Christianity for you. They read it verbatim, okay, and they understand it verbatim, from the surface of what the words are saying, So it says, C, of the wife, to suffer adultery, be debauched. A Hebrew idiom, the word is used of those who at a woman's solicitation are drawn away to adultery, i.e. to the eating of things sacrificed unto idols, and that's going into spiritual adultery. All right, so to commit adultery is to be with another man's wife, and that's it. Simple. Now, when you go into fornication, Salak. And I'll get into it in the Hebrew, and then I'll get into it in the Greek first, and then I'll go to the Hebrew for fornication. 1 Thessalonians 4:3. For this is the will of the Most High, even your sanctification, that ye should abstain from fornication. Right. So when you go into the word abstain first, where is it? Abstain. Abstain means to hold oneself off, to refrain, okay, from fornication. And the word used there is porneia, okay, porneia, which is porn, okay. So in porn, whenever you're watching whatever you're watching, what you're looking at is a woman being taken in the act of sex, which is marriage, which if you're lusting after her while she's being taken, that's committing adultery, and that's also fornication. And that's what Yahweh Shai said that in Matthew 5, So when you go into the word fornication, you have the word there, porneia, and the root word porneo, and then porne, which is a woman who sells her body for sexual uses. You see, a prostitute, a harlot. You see, an adulteress. You see, so she sells her body. That's what she is. That's what that word porne represents when she sells her body. But the word porneia is illicit sexual intercourse, adultery, fornication, homosexuality, lesbianism, intercourse with animals, etc. You see, so porneia, that's why you have, what they call sexual preferences, because that's what they are. They're fornicators. All right, so fornication can be adultery, but it can also be a lot of other stuff. Adultery is only when a woman has a married woman, all right, or a woman that's promised to someone, and to be married, you have to lay down with that person. All right, so a woman that's married goes after somebody else, or somebody else goes after a married woman. That's what adultery means, and this is what fornication means. I gave that example of porn. You have the root word pornos as well, which is adultery. So it says adultery, fornication, homosexuality. So homosexuality goes into fornication. All right. Lesbianism, intercourse with animals, etc. Sexual intercourse with close relatives. And that's in Leviticus 17 and also in Leviticus 18. So it's a simple thing. That's what sexual ungodliness is. You see? So 1 Thessalonians 4:3 again. For this is the will of the Most High Yahweh, even your sanctification, that ye should abstain from fornication. Okay, so once you come into this truth, you need to abstain, all right, which means put off or get away from fornicating. If back then you were a fornicator, you used to watch this and that, whatever the case may be, you used to sleep with, married women, and the Most High had grace on you, mercy, all right, and allowed you to come into this truth, what you need to do is put that away. You know, you need to put away that fornication and, you know, come into the light of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You know, it says that every one of you should know how to possess his vessel in sanctification and honor, not in the lust of concupiscence, even as the Gentiles which know not the Most High. You see? And that's what these Gentiles do. They'll watch whatever. They even watch it. They even have a watch party. You know, they have orgies. You know, one person will bounce from one to another. You know, nothing but filth. Okay, but us being the sons of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we need to abstain from that. All right? And let's actually look up the word concupiscence. Is desire, craving, longing, desire for what is forbidden. Lust. You see? So, you need to not have that lust. You know? Come into the light of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, which is the word. All right, which is the study. Which is the practice of the word. You know? So I hope that was edifying. And with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakwadash, Shalom.